What's going on, fam? Welcome back to Adobo Moto. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to use 3M's Knifeless tape. I have with me the design line version. This is the one I use most often, and this is the one that helps me a lot when I'm making my vinyl wrapping videos, when I'm wrapping my motorcycles. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I audited it. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I already wrapped the Panigale V4S. Now I made a whole video on that, but I haven't put it out yet. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see that whole process. It's kind of similar to all the other videos that I've made where I go through the process of vinyl wrapping a whole motorcycle. Now with the type of vinyl that I use for my bike, that material is really stiff and there's a lot of things that kind of didn't go right. So I wanted to fix those, and I figured why not make these smaller tutorials instead of like one big video that's like an hour or 2 hours long. That way I can really go into detail about specific things, like how to use knifeless tape properly. I mean, is there really a proper way to do it? God, it's freaking hot in this garage. Let's just get on with it. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys a few of the things that kind of went wrong when I went to vinyl wrap this bike. You guys can see this kind of started peeling out. This was like from one day of just starting it and riding down the block. You know, it's just this material. It's super stiff. It's really thick. You know, motorcycles have a lot of like intricate curves and corners. When you're choosing a vinyl, you really have to choose something that's very pliable and flexible. Unfortunately, this matte military green from Vivid is not. It's not as flexible as, you know, other vinyl that I've used. But let me show you this other side. This other side turned out decent. You know, there's still like these obvious issues here. Up here, that started coming off, and then, you know, started like wrinkling right in there. And you know, that's again, it's whatever you can live with. You know, it's like, for me, I could live with the other side. That's fine. But this side, I'm gonna get it off, and then we're gonna just attempt to fix it. I'm gonna teach you guys how to use knifeless tape because that area uses a lot of knifeless tape. So let's go. Yo, I'm sweating. And it's hot in Washington today, guys. Hey, we got it off though. Whew. My God, I'm drenched. All right, so before I get into that piece right there, I figured I'd just go ahead and redo this tank piece because there's a good spot right here that I can really demonstrate to you guys how well the knifeless tape works as far as creating a design, especially on the tank like this. Plus it's easy enough, so I figured why not. Okay, so now we're onto the knifeless tape. Basically, if it was like a long piece like that, I would just kind of stretch it out and see how much I need, and I'd cut it off at this end. But since this is like an intricate knifeless design, what I'm gonna do is just hold the tape in one hand like this and then the roll in the other. And basically, there's a string in the middle, there's a sticky side and a non-sticky side. So obviously you want the sticky side. And what I do is I try to make straight lines. And then when I come to a curve, that's why I'll just move it slightly. Okay? So I'll find the straight line, push that down just ever so slightly. And then when I go to the curve, again, I'll push it in. And then I'll find that straight line again, which will be like right here. just like that. And then again, another curve right here. And I'll just slightly move it and push it down. And basically it'll stretch just like that. Now what I've found with knifeless tape is you really have to press it in so that way it doesn't lift. You got to apply a lot of pressure on it. So here we go. Down here. And sometimes it'll wrinkle like this, but you just gotta follow, you just gotta look at the string in there to see what it's doing. And as long as it's like a nice curve, you're fine. Even though, you know, this tape right here, this little tape that's kind of holding the string in will fold over and crease and stuff. As long as your string is straight, you're good. Alright, so what I always try to do here is I leave like a really long piece on both ends, because when you go to pull on it, you kind of want to have a grip, a nice grip. There's also a few tricks that I'll teach you guys when I'm pulling on the string. So right now I'm just checking, you know, pressing in the areas that are lifting like a ton. Like I said, you want to put a ton of pressure on it because sometimes you're going to have to pull on the vinyl and relay it over it, and you don't want it coming up. So really take your time and push this in, right, and make sure that the string is taut. And also for a symmetric piece like this, you kind of want to just kind of look at it and make sure everything's the way you want it. Obviously it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, but you know, closer you get, the better it looks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling off this knifeless tape here. I'm gonna start on this side. And what I like to do if I have a flap like this is I'll just kind of find where the line is, the tape, and I'll just cut a little slit like that. So that way it can kind of get started. So remember what I said about leaving a really long end? All you have to do, see with 3M, like this little plastic outer piece is so easy to rip. All you got to do is kind of pull it this way, right? So hold on to it, make it stick to here, use your thumb, and just pull it this way. See? That kind of like crinkled up. It's easy to rip. And all you're gonna do is hold it with your thumb right here and yank it straight up. Now you got it started. And now what you could do is, since the rest of this is sticky, you can kind of create like a little anchor or something to hold on to like that. And there's also a little trick that you could do if you happen to like cut it too short, like you didn't leave enough string. What you could do is use one of these like that. So just a piece of vinyl, just like that. Now you have a better grip. See that? So all it is just following the lines. So here's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna pull it, and you're just gonna make sure first that everything is kind of in place, right? Oops, dropped my blade. You just kind of want to make sure everything's in place. before you start pulling it, right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and grab this. Okay, here we go. And just kind of want to do like one slow and steady motion. You see I'm kind of following where it goes, and I didn't really stop until the end. That's it. That's all you really got to do. And now you could either start pulling this off like that. See? And then the string should come along with it, or you could just lift it up on this end. And then there's gonna be two pieces, right? Because it cut down the center. So there's one on the outside and one underneath. And just kind of press down with your fingers, right, as you pull off. See? Now you got a nice solid edge. You know, it's as solid as it's gonna be, especially with something as intricate as this, right? You got a lot of corners and edges. So spots like that, you could just take a heat gun, heat that and then push it in. You can use a squeegee or your finger. Heat it. You kind of push it in with your nail and your finger. And sometimes it'll leave a dot, but that's okay, right? Again, whatever you could live with. Vinyl wrap's not perfect, so get that out of your head. So when you're going to the end, you just kind of want to find where the string is, and you can either finish it off or, you know, go underneath and then finish it off with a blade. But I'm gonna keep going here, okay? And then I think that's as far as it'll go. Just because it's kind of lifted, it's not completely down. So I'm just gonna make a cut here. I'm just gonna try to follow, right, that line. Set that aside and then push this in. Okay, and then now you can continue post heating, right? And I'm gonna cut this out and finish that off, but that's it. That's the gist. So this is kind of like the stuff you can create with knifeless tape. Now if I wanted to do like an overlay, like, you know, if I was doing like this whole tank, the rest of it or something, I'll just like run another piece just right over it. That's why it's called an overlay. And it'll be the same thing. You wrap what you need, pull it off, and you're good to go. Okay, so I don't want to beat this topic to death because I feel like it's pretty simple to use, you know, learn how to use knifeless tape. So instead of demonstrating another piece, I think I'm going to save that for another tutorial, maybe like learning corners or concaves or convexes or something like that, because that's a very technical piece. Instead, I'm going to show you another technique of knifeless tape that you could use for overlaying, or when you're doing pieces like, for instance, a tank, if you want to do it in a few pieces. I'm going to show you what an overlay looks like. I'm using this, my little trusty cleaner here. So you lay down some knifeless tape like that. Take your scrap vinyl. Okay. All I'm doing is just laying it right over. Just like that, like so. Okay. Getting it started. Hold it with your finger. Cut across. Peel this off. Okay. Grab the other side. Peel that off. Now you got both. Okay, now you got a nice straight edge. I'm gonna overlay some of this blue. Okay, but before I do that, what I wanna do is take another piece of Knifeless tape, cut that off, and I'm just gonna follow this line. I don't know how well I could do this on camera. Something like that, right? Just kind of eyeball in here. Something like that. Okay. Lay this vinyl over it. Right? Something like that. Obviously you're gonna make it nice and pretty, not like me. Same thing. Get it started. Pull it back like so. Okay. Make your cut all the way. Grab this other end. Peel this. I just want to make sure you guys can see, because it's very simple, and I keep getting asked questions like, "Hey, how do I use Knifeless tape? What is Knifeless tape?" This is Knifeless tape. Okay, obviously I could have been more intricate with my design. Now you got an overlay, right? That is an overlay. Seamless. Okay, there's a seam there. You could do a seamless. Pull this off. You could do a seamless. Seamless, you just use one piece of Knifeless tape. Again, very simple, guys. Doing this real time for you. One piece, lay it down in the center. Boom. I don't know what to pull off. Make sure I give myself enough room. There it is. Whoa, it's freaking hot in this garage. You guys see me sweating? See me sweating for you guys? Okay. That's where the Knifeless tape is. You see that? Alright. Okay, now I'm just gonna lay this over. Has to be over the tape, okay? Because we're gonna cut it. Okay, and then this other side, the green part, is gonna come off underneath. Okay, now you got 2 layers. Now we're gonna make a seamless cut. All right, get this started again. Very simple, guys, it's very simple. Okay, get that to the end. Boom, cut that all the way. Pull off the blue side. Right, boom, done. Okay. Now the tricky part here is pulling off everything underneath, right? Because you got some green coming off, you got the tape coming off. Okay, so here's what you do. What you're gonna do is lift this up a little bit, like that. Okay, let me finish that off. Ooh. Let me finish that off. Can I finish it off? No, I can't. Okay, so I'm gonna come up from here instead. Basically, you're just trying to get those pieces off from underneath. And there's a layer of green underneath, right? This is like, seamless is very difficult if it's an area that's, you know, not flat. Even like this, I'm having trouble, but I am recording at the same time. But here, look. So now I'm taking off both the tape and the green vinyl that's underneath the blue vinyl, right? And then those seams are just gonna come together to form a seamless cut, right? There you go, no seam, perfect. Look at that, boom. You could do this with curves. I don't suggest it on a motorcycle where it like curves down, because when you go to heat this vinyl, if you stretched it a lot, it's gonna want to pull back. So for a bike, just do an overlay, man. It's not that big a deal. It's gonna be freaking perfect. It's a motorcycle. It's gonna start screwing up anyway. Oh my god, I'm sweating. Yo, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been sweating in this garage. It's nighttime. I got the garage open and shit, man. I'll catch you guys on the next tutorial. It won't be that far from now, maybe a day or two. That's it. Knifeless tape, go get some. If you're wrapping a motorcycle, you need this. This is a lifesaver, I promise you, you need this, okay? You might not need the Vivid blade utility knife, but knifeless tape will get you some. Sweating for you guys.